Hello, everybody. Fearmy Games with a new part of the Rome 2 campaign as the Kingdom of Cimmeria. I also just realized that my webcam for some reason is like a little bit off right now, but oh well, I'll live with it. But we're here defending our new holdings against the Bactrian hordes. There's quite a lot of them, so I don't know how well this is going to work out, but we're going to fight them. The reason why we're going to fight them is we want to inflict as much harm upon the enemy as possible before they keep advancing, as we need time for the Roma impersonators to arrive from the west to the east, now that we have decided to let Rome be Rome for now. In the end, we'll get to them, but right now we have enemies closer to home than Rome. So I think we might have to give up the outer defenses and focus on our inner defenses on the northwestern side. I think that might be the best way to try and inflict harm upon our enemies. We also need to make sure there's avenues for our cavalry to try and inflict as much harm into the enemy pikes. I say that, but also they are very weak up on the walls as pikes, but it's a situation where we are also not very strong on the walls either. Let's see. We have phalanx, spear, phalanx. There is a chance our spearmen here could defeat them up on the walls, but I'm a little reluctant to try and rely on that. Especially since our strongest unit is currently pretty weak right now. We could very easily just fall back to here, defend our victory, our capture point, make use of the fact that we have small numbers. Put up our archers up on the wall, and use this tower to our advantage, especially and also the high ground. And that's what I am thinking of doing right now. Basically, we have two choke points, essentially. One choke point is defend the walls and try and keep them out from ever getting inside the city, which we won't really be able to do unless we can destroy that battering ram. But I think that's going to be a very hard thing to do, with considering how beat up most of our infantry are. We'd be basically relying on these mercenary spearmen to try and hold the wall for a while. Let's see what I can do with my phalanx troops, and before I make my final decision on what we're going to do is necessarily. So this is a victory point. Is this also a victory point though? Capture point. Okay, so that's just not. This is the victory point. That's the capture point. Okay. So we will probably want to do something like this. Part of our defenses. We are rather limited, as we can see, on what we can effectively accomplish to hold the line. It's a wide area to defend, but it's our best bet probably. Because we have the tower to support us. I can place my archers set all the way back up here. And that way they can fire down at our enemies. I wouldn't exactly do it the way it is right now. I'd probably cycle them up. Probably what I want is... I don't quite like how you're formatted. There we go. Much better. Something like that is how it would best be designed with our troops in mind. I wish it's more effective to put archers right here, but unfortunately with the way it's designed, I don't think they'd be able to effectively fire from here to there. So the rest of our archers would have to be kind of back here. The other option is to... I mean, it'd be a really big gamble about whether or not I can actually destroy that battering ram. We await your orders. Like, the other option is to not completely throw away army, but in part kind of make tactical use of them is try and, let's see, can I hide these guys behind the city and hope that the enemy doesn't instead go for this capture point, instead goes just straight to the victory points? That's my hope, and maybe what I'm going to gamble on here with these two. I'm going to place these guys here to try and flank them. That's probably the best thing we're going to be able to do is get a good flanking attack on the enemy. They go to place these guys. I'm tempted to put these guys up here to try and essentially weaken the enemy where they're going to, up here, up on the walls where they are going to be at their weakest. And then use these guys, maybe use one of these guys for that purpose as well. But I have to be careful about using too much of my forces involved in trying to, you know, keep the walls as secure as possible. I don't know if boiling oil, I think I have boiling oil. So I'm actually going to use this unit here. I'm going to take it off the wall.
As you command.
Maybe use that to try and delay the gates being captured as long as possible. And then use these two guys back up here to try as a reinforcer unit. I don't want you guys firing at will. I want you guys back here, and maybe firing up onto the wall might be effective as well. Though our troops might be lightly armored comparatively. I'm going to keep these guys back here and cycle them out, I think, with the other archers. So this is mostly supposed to be a stopgap situation right now. Not really designed to... I think that's the best we're going to get. Now it's time for our deployables to start. I'm going to start putting barricades where I don't want the enemy to go. To potentially slow them down. And also place some stuff where I want them to go to maybe also weaken them and slow them down too. Can't really do anything with those brimstones, but... since I'm not really planning on supporting this front, I'm going to put spike traps where they're going to probably be going, but where I'm not planning on being, to try to weaken them up a bit. Let's see. I want to place these in such a way they're going to guarantee something happens, but I'm also put it to the point where I'm a little bit worried. But I think that's the best we're going to get in terms of deployables and everything. It is a bit of a shame to invest so much of my troops into the walls as more of a sacrificial front, but I think it's going to be one of our two choke points that we want to kind of make use of. One choke point being back here. The other one being the wall itself. So let's speed this part up. If I can get the arrow towers to attack where I want, that might make it even more effective. Actually, what might make it more effective is if... So what's the range on my archer towers? I think the best one is to focus down this central guard tower here, siege ladder. Once it gets in range, because both of them could fire at it, which will probably increase the likelihood of it being able to burn it. If assuming I can actually direct my archer towers to do stuff. Taken fire. The phalanx troops are definitely going to be a big threat to the bottom part. These guys are Thrail's spears. They got their javies ready to throw. Alright, let me speed things up again because it looks like things are going to be basically as they are right now for a while. Enemy archers, I think, are now probably going to start unleashing on my guys soon enough. But they didn't really have too many archers now, did they? Looks like there's an enemy coming in from behind, but they shouldn't be able to capture any of those gates on their own. Well, actually, I think actually they can destroy gates, now that I think about it. No, this is a bit of a problem now. And let me play this real fast.
We'll kill them all! At the ready! We await your orders.
Right there.
What are your orders? Lower your spears! Spears!
Moving our troops around to better defend this location.
At the ready! Spearmen!
Yeah, the ram has reached the gates, and I don't think the oil is going to help it too much.
We are at your command. We await your orders. Ready for battle! Lower your spears!
Take them out, boys! This poor militia hoplite is just doomed. I feel sorry for it. How are they decapping this tower? That's crazy, actually. The fact that they're somehow decapping this tower from where they are. Or at least maybe it's showing that it's being affected by him. That might make more sense, actually, now that I think about it.
At your command. Fill them with us.
Keep up the fight.
What are your orders?
On the bright side, these guys will actually be able to attack them a little bit more tired and weakened. So hopefully, these guys might be more effective. And these gates have now been destroyed. Here, the enemy does have their troops up on the walls now.
Ready and eager! Take the heads!
Yeah, Thrail spears are pretty, as we've known from our own experience, spearmen are pretty effective. See, we have. So yeah, they're gonna put up a fight. Yeah, they've breached the gates now. They have the boiling oil being poured on them now, which is very nice for us. But they are, I think, decapping the area now. Which is unfortunate, but nothing we can do about it. But the boiling oil is doing exactly what we were hoping it would do. It is killing a decent amount of them. Oof. Honestly, seeing how much people are dying to this boiling oil makes me kind of wish I was holding the gates more than I am. Just because look at all the sheer amount of enemies just in here getting consumed by the boiling oil.
Ready for orders.
Fortunately, having just one unit of mine is not enough to hold it.
Infantry!
It looks like they've also somehow decapped this arrow tower, which basically means that this holding of the gate has effectively lost most of its teeth. Because part of my goal of holding this was trying to make use of this archer tower to do a lot of damage, but fortunately they capped it somehow. I mean, these guys are surrounded, so hopefully that's having at least some impact on them being killed, but probably not, because how weak the infantry that is there is.
We are at your command!
Alright, let's speed it up, because this is basically now just a time thing of when are they gonna die, essentially. I'll have to keep an eye on enemy movements now. So the enemy have pushed past their first choke point of the gates. which is now where the enemy will run to. Activating some of my spikes and losing a couple troops is all well and good. They're about to go into the caltrops, it looks like. And the holding action at the gates, at the walls, this part's still going probably the strongest. But, yeah, let's see. The enemies are going exactly where I'm expecting them to go. Or at least I was hoping them to go. I honestly maybe have gone away with having my horsemen here, but I want to make sure they're safely away, but not too far away. These guys are some of my best troops. It's a shame to see these guys die off, but they're doing exactly what I need them to do, weakening and softening up the enemy troops. But it does look like I did choose the wrong choke point for being super effective. Might have been more effective if I replayed this battle to maybe focus more of my troops on the gates and then have just a force here to try and keep out the enemy from the walls. That might have done more harm to the enemy than what I ended up doing. Just because I didn't expect them to be so bottled up in there, but they ended up being really bottled up there. Yeah, it looks like since there's walls are being destroyed here, looks like they're just walking around. That means they're taking a little bit of damage from our archers. Hey, and we almost broke that unit, which would have been good. Yeah, this is quite the big enemy force. And the enemies have officially captured the gates. And they're bringing all their entire main army in, original army in. I don't think I'd be able to capture the gates myself. The reason why I didn't have my elephants over here to try and march into the battle is because I knew they have phalanx troops. And charging elephants headlong into that is not going to be effective at all. What if I was to get away with walking them out now? I want them to be fully invested, but not so invested that my cav won't have enough time to make it before the battle's over. I'm gonna try walking them, seeing that makes them less likely to be noticed quickly. So far they're still hidden, but they're also still behind that building. Looks like they do have a unit who's being sent over here to try and take out the barricades. There's nothing over here, which means that they're probably trying to go for the capture point. The barricade will slow them down, though. It does look like they were spotted, so there goes the idea of secrecy there. It's time to start investing a little bit. Looks like they are running, so they're tiring themselves out a little bit here. There wasn't so many of them, I'd be tempted to do that. Okay, well, our first set of archers is about to be run out of ammunition, so time to bring it down off the walls and have another unit of archers take its place. Where's our general here? The enemy just has so many troops that this flanking attack is not going to be as effective as I was hoping it was going to be. Charge! Looks like some of the missile troops are trying to get around the barricade, but they're working hard to try and get around it. Our first troops are about to start wavering, bringing in the backups now. Get them before they're braced. We're just pushing on through, getting to the, hopefully, it looks like we might actually start breaking some of their troops, which is not something I expected to do, but I'm pleasantly happy to, more than happy to do right now. Especially if this guy breaks, that'll be yet another unit out of the way for them. Then I can start turning on these enemy archers with my general. But yeah, this is definitely taking a lot out of my general right now. Gotta go to charge off there. I think I shouldn't have split up my elephants from my horse, from my general. My general is trying to lose this battle due to the fact that he doesn't have enough momentum now. Yep. I need to fall back. My general's shattered now. That's not good for us. I'm gonna make it so that's not a flanking attack, but also still leaving the enemy flank open to bring in my archers and hopefully get off a good flank on the M. Our general is dead. We broke and killed a few guys, but I don't think it's gonna be enough to make an impact on this battle in the end. Now, that was my best gambit essentially. Loose. These guys are taking a lot more damage than I expected them to do well where I had them. Alright, well, our elephants are dead, our general is dead. And the last remaining defenses. Fortunately, no garrison support, and our already wounded army is just not enough to hold this area. But we will reinstate the legacy of this mighty army. Avenge them. Got a nice flanking attack here in some of these guys in the front, but didn't shatter them any of them, unfortunately. And our militia hoplites kind of changed their angle a little bit, and now are kind of getting swamped. So basically now it's the beginning of the end of the battle, so we're just going to fast forward, because now I don't really have any strategies left that I can do. Now it's entirely spray and pray, essentially. And victory is not ours, unfortunately. We were just way too... They outnumbered us almost 5-1. So it was a battle that would have required a lot healthier troops to be able to pull off. But I think we did a pretty decent job with what we had. Our hoplites did a pretty good job where I didn't expect them to. Our general got a decent amount of kills, and our elephants got 269 kills. That was effective for one single unit that many kills. It definitely was, I think, valuable. They lost a lot of troops, but I don't think that will blunt their offensive. But at least it will make it so it's not going to be quite as good. Especially if they choose to advance on the next settlement where we have another army that's a little bit healthier than this one was. Because this one took on at least 2 or 3 armies without being replenished. Now, it was taking on another 2 armies without being replenished, so I was like, sorry, there's only so much we could do. Oh well, Ares Dread, they will be missed. No, the Archbosphorus, actually, not Ares Dread. The Archbosphorus will be missed. They were probably our first army, I think. A noble death indeed. He was not general for long, but he did brave. He was braver than most. Sad day indeed. How long is? Yeah, that was only 26 minutes. That wasn't a very long battle at all. I just want to make sure. So I was like, what time is it? A noble death. Well, the enemy lost more than we did. It was not enough. They did not choose to take Artacoana, apparently, which is kind of interesting. But the army has been wiped out. I wonder where Pergamon. Someone new must have declared war on Pergamon because all their armies went from going eastward to going westward. I noticed. Maybe it was Rome. Maybe Rome is closer to them than I gave credit for. Which case Rome might be starting to deal with one of my allies. Which honestly, I had made him an ally as kind of a buffer state because I wanted to focus on the east. But I was like, well, fine if you're gonna take me on, you know. All right. Zakharok is now sending out some armies as well southward against our guys. It's definitely where the challenge comes in. Honestly, I think the only thing stopping the guys at Hagar from attacking us is that they're afraid of... I mean, I'm not going to help them. Because they can beat it without me. But I also can't afford my guys to get more wounded. Especially because I'm expecting a pretty problematic attack about to come my way on my 2 remaining armies in the east. I must... Come on. There we go. Rapid piracy. Let's go hunted. An honorable death. Indeed. Still have that food shortage, though. That's a problem. So I'm going to cancel construction of this because I am expecting that to be attacked any moment. Now I'm going to cancel... Oops, I don't want to go that. I'm going to cancel this one because basically I'm going to let this place go to the slums for now instead of investing money into it. The brave companions have been destroyed. Oh yeah, I'm Archbosphorus, that's what it was. Lots of droughts and seasonal weather. Food's starting to get a little bit better now. But still, definitely we need more food. Apparently I can now do limited horse breeding now, but I'm gonna work on getting food and stuff. Basically, the places that I am planning on holding and fighting for are places where I'm going to be building food. So we need food. Desperately need food. Let's see. I don't want to build... I understand the need for money, but I don't really want to build that. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I think I'm going to build here a consecrated ground and another agora. Have I deployed the agent yet? Not yet. I'll make sure she's at least 50% of her movement left before I stop moving her. Now this should be help. Now this should help a little bit. That's actually a pretty big rebel army, but it's not a very strong rebel army, but it's still a big rebel army. See, bonus a lot grain or bonus livestock? There's no really difference if this one gives me more money. This one gives more foreigner population, but it's not the end of the world. Improve routes. Alright, where's my Roma impersonators? There they are. Roma impersonators, your orders have changed. We need you in the east. The war is not going as well as one might hope. Let's see. So you're already giving us the food here. You're already importing food as well. Yeah, every faction, every settlement where I have an edict issued is already forming food. So it's already giving us food. So I'm going to need to reinstate a legacy now of the brave companions. Like, honestly, is this one just straight? No, this one has worse. No, wait, no, this one's better. Okay, so this one has, I think this guy's just straight better. Yeah, this is just a straight upgrade from the Bosphorus Noble Cavalry, so I'm just going to keep these guys. Apparently there's disease in this region. That's awkward, considering the fact that this is where I was planning on making a new army, but awkward. I'm gonna make a real quick couple. Oh, I can make more Bosphorus Royal Cavalry, which is nice, because that means I think they're a step above the Bosphorus Lancers. But you can see, though, they do cost 100 gold to turn more, but they're probably worth in terms of how effective they are. This guy's actually better armor. No, this guy's better armored. Yeah, these guys are just better in almost every way, as far as I can tell. I'm going to get like 3 troops in here, and then I'm going to start... I'm going to have it start patrolling this region, and then once the disease is gone, I'm going to start building up more of the army. I really love these Scythian young horsemen. I am happy with these guys and their effectiveness against enemy cavalry. They're definitely, they're basically just almost as good as horsemen are. I mean, as spearmen are. I also have heavy horse archers. I could make an entire horse army, but I don't really want to. I love these axemen. These guys are even better than my... Don't tell them I said this, but my Scythian axemen, they're even better than that. So let's see. I'm probably going to make a nice... Boston Royal Guard as my center for my infantry lines. But I'm curious about this guy. I want to compare this one and this one real fast, because I'm curious about how, like, some of the thing balances, because I'm trying to decide which one I want. The Rampoa Warriors actually have a lower bonus versus infantry, a lower melee attack damage, but they have a better weapon damage and better melee attack. These guys have a really good melee defense, better armor, but worse morale, same speed, but these guys also have one thing of jabbies, and I'm tempted to, like, I'm trying to, like, one reason I kind of want this is that I'm thinking of going for these guys, because these guys have a shield, and I'm thinking that they might at least decently hold the line a little bit. So they might be able to hold the line, and maybe be more effective what I want them to do, which is to be good armor piercing into warriors. While the Roman pole warriors, these guys' entire purpose is to be, if I can get them into enemy flanks. So these guys are really good if they can get into them. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of why I'm like, which one do I want? Because they're both pretty dang good. I think since another army already has Rampo Warriors, I'm going to make these guys the axemen here. And if I want to, there's these guys. These are better versus Cav, honestly, but they're also just normal spearmen. But they're pretty dang good for holding the line. So I'm going to make 2 of these guys. How much can I make a turn? Apparently a lot more, even more than I have already. And I definitely want some war elephants in this army, because I do like myself war elephants, but I also want to make sure I have plenty of Cav. Cav is very effective, I have found, so I always want to make sure. But I want my Scythian armored archers, because you always want a good contingent of archers in an army. 3, 6. So I found my maximum is 5 a turn. This might not be the best time to bring in a new army, but We need it, especially for the fact that my armies aren't going to attrition, but they are going to start weakening. And I wish I could bring these guys effectively down south, but I can't really do that because of the fact that, well, they're kind of holding the wall up here. Making sure that the enemy, the Scythians, don't just do anything funny. Because if the Scythians or Roxanne do anything funny, there would be nothing to defend my homeland. Because all of my armies are very far away. So I'm going to repair that at least. No, I'm not going to bother repairing that. I'm going to wait a turn before I decide to do anything with Arctic Koana. Because Bactria's probably going to attack it and just finish it and just take it. Since the army's no longer there to defend it, the garrison's all gone. Probably just sacked it to make a little bit more money. You know, I'm being honest. Well, I want to defend Marv. Marv is probably not the best place to defend it. Susi is probably better, mostly because of the fact that the garrison's probably healthier at this point. But neither do I really want to give up Marv. Because of the fact that, well, I want it. And I've also started investing money into it, so I've started investing money into it. It makes me kind of a little bit less wanting to get rid of it.
I am told our treasuries lack a sum of gold.
Why would I want to give you money for that one? Oops, I didn't mean to accept that. Oh well. I get a non-aggression pact with the Macedonians. I meant to click cancel, but I actually clicked accept. Oops. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. And thank you, Pergamon, for being helpful. I will happily assist you in this battle. I'm going to auto-resolve it because these are just garrison armies, so I don't really care how wounded they get. They should still replenish, I think. We need to kill the captives. We don't have enough food for our own people, let alone a bunch of slaves, so... Oh, I've completely forgot about that army in Susia, and look, it's dying now. Ah! I completely forgot, you guys. Crap. That's another army that I could have used. Awkward. Goth has now been besieged.
Our joint enemies would tremble if we were your allies. Your strength, our wisdom, together would achieve great.
Sure, I can always confederate you later on. And military, I've allies to the west, allies to the end, but Egypt, I've kind of been reluctant to try and be true friends with Egypt, because part of me wants to kill them one day. Decline to attack. They can kill them for me. I'm not sacrificing my troops for that. Loading, don't crash on me. Okay, we're good. Someone under the siege, rebellion, and Marv. Yeah, I'm starting to now suffer attrition. It's claiming disease, but I assume the attrition has to do with the fact that I'm out of food now. Is my only guess, unless it's a really big plague. Actually, these guys aren't suffering attrition anymore, so maybe it really is disease. But that's really unfortunate, the fact that we're suffering disease right now. Considering the fact that I can't replenish those troops that are now dying to said disease. It's like, oh, why do you have to do this now? I guess the good thing that the Roman impersonators were not in my territory at the time as the disease was spreading. They didn't take Arctic Koana yet, so I'm going to start repairing it. Looks like they were wounded a little bit still from that, especially because I haven't taken it immediately. I can't take this one without sacrificing food, so I'm not going to do that. I can understand how you're unhappy. There's nothing I can really do about it. Slavers have arrived, reports with high quality. both of them, I guess. See what happens there. Let me check the loyalty of of my factions right now. Everyone has good loyalty right now, so we'll keep that in mind. This is definitely a problem, though, with how to solve our food problems more effectively. Like, I don't, like, the only there's, like, very few things that are actually really are consuming food, which is why it's the strangest thing for me, the fact that I have such poor food right now. I mean, a lot of it comes probably is the cities. The cities cost so much food. For example, like this alone is only covering the cost of one city, 2 cities maybe. So it's like, why is the food consumption so high when the food gain is so low? Could I not have built an Agora over here? The gods might be angry with me, but I need to see if I can build more food production stuff over here. It's gonna be 20 turns until I can upgrade some of this, but 9 turns until I can upgrade that. I'm gonna go for this one. Okay. Let's see, how much is the upgrade? How much would the upgrade give me? So it would take 16 turns, but it would give another 6 food. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to start making the economic archive, and then after that I plan on making the perennial irrigation. Because that means I get food 9 turns faster than otherwise. I mean, what I could do is I could start demolishing central areas, basically effectively regressing my areas a little bit. That might be the only way I can really make food back. Like, I can demolish this one because it's so that because it's not really doing much for me right now. You don't provide me any food, do you? Actually does provide me food, so I'm not going to worry about demolishing that one. Can I think about it for fastest. Can I see this? Cancel that. I can't convert you into a farming. Farming that doesn't give you food anyways, but I'm going to demolish you a little bit, weaken you a little bit. Can I make you into a fishing town, potentially? No, I can only demolish you. I do want the research rate, though, so I have to be careful what I demolish. I'm going to cancel Amasia's upgrade, though, because that's going to just exacerbate a problem I don't want to deal with right now. Okay. Yeah, this makes 9 food, but then this one is 3 food. It's like already consuming enough as it is. The Hellenistic farming town, though, grain apparently makes a lot more food, but I can't. Can I make this into a grain? No, I cannot make it into a grain. So the farming settlement market is already making the most amount I can get out of it. Yeah, and I can't turn you into either one of these because those would consume more food. Well, economic woes, you know, galore, I guess, is the best way of calling this episode. Alright, well, let's end turn. Or I could also weaken, after I repair Arctic Canoe, I can also demolish it partially, make back some of the money, demolish it, weaken it. For when they capture that way, they have to invest money into upgrading it too. That way they don't get what I already built them. Ha, suckers. Roma must have a lot of things going on. They're probably getting pretty big. I feel like food didn't always, like, settlements didn't always cost as much food. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it always did. I haven't played this far into a DEI campaign, but It definitely went from we had plenty of food to zero food really fast.
Why the spirits of our ancestors?
No, I'm not going to give non-aggression back to you. I actually kind of want to go to war with that guy anyways, so it's like... I forgot that army again! I'm a Malacca.
The storm has raged long enough, and now, at your
I actually don't mind having peace with those guys. I have a bit of a problem right now.
Between friends, the gift of gold is
Screw it. I'll just give him that non-aggression pact. I have plenty of money to spare right now.
Why the spirits of our ancestors have
I think apparently now that I started accepting things, everyone seems to think I'm like a money machine. Like, I'll give you non-aggression pact if you know. But honestly, I'm not against that. I'll take it. They've been pretty good at help. They've been pretty helpful to me. Eventually, I could confederate them too. So, at least I think I can confederate them. Could be wrong. Lots of slums now in Articuana, not too surprising. But the food now problem is going down. Lead might be useful. How do we want? Okay, honestly, if I could like make a food building in this thing, I definitely would do that. But I can't. So where's that army over here that I keep forgetting about? There you are. Apparently these guys will replenish if I keep them here. What happens if I move them here? Now let's start moving the Ares Dread to the east. We need a healthy army to deal with the situation. So now we need our nice, firm front line of hoplites, 4 of them to be exact. We need one baggage train to reduce the amount of problems we're gonna have. I'm gonna want 1 elephant, 2 cav. Wait, I already have a baggage train. 3 cav. Boom. And there's going to be the army. I like it. Looks pretty tough to me. And exactly the way I like to play. A nice sturdy front line that's not going to crumble. And some nice flanking cav. And plus some archers. I like it. I know you're unhappy Mesopotamia, but there's nothing I can do about it. So just calm down. We're slowly but sure. Where's Parsa? Where is Parsa? Okay, so I could build I'm gonna build an agora here now, so that way I can start making that food place. Let's make a. I think it gives food for the religious aspect of things. Do they? No, they do not. I think I'm gonna make this a research rate here in Parsa for somebody to make a shrine to Athena. I'm gonna make this. Let's see, growth, replenishment. Farming. There is farming here, so I might make that. Let's go with that. Mainly, so destroying some of these settlements would help with food too, but I'm also kind of reluctant to do that. I need to cancel your construction. Sorry. I need to deal with banditry, but also neither can I afford to just run out of food completely. See, if these guys don't attack me within the next 2 turns, I'm going to have to deal with that. So I refuse to let the enemies go. Daha, will you trade with me and give me non-aggression pact? Trade with me.
has a collection of dullard sparks.
Well, apparently you really don't like the non-aggression pact, though.
You present honest terms that I accept.
And I'm gonna start using my money to bribe people for trade agreements now.
Now speak as you will, and try to be interesting.
Well, apparently these guys would want a lot of money to go to probably because we're not good friends, but oh well. I'll deal with them later then. You know, the peace means that they're at least not going to be an immediate threat to me, especially since Egypt is still keeping them bottled up in the Arabian Peninsula. Where is that army here? I wish I could force march them, but I can't. Okay, enter. This will be the last end turn cycle, and then it'll be the end of the turn. Food is naturally going to get a little bit worse as I make make another army, but short-term problems you know, it's a short-term problem, and not doing it is honestly worse than doing it, because I need to be able to have armies to conquer Bactria, or else conquer me, and that will just cause lots of problems. So we need to slaughter them with the armies, then conquer them. Once we conquer them, we can then use their lands to make more food. And by making more food, we solve our problem in the long run, you see. I'm thinking ahead. Now Bactria is taking out to Koana again. I'm surprised that... I guess there must be enough of garrison respawned that they're able to... that they're now sieging it. See, Purra's still holding out against Bactria, which is nice. It is keeping few of their armies occupied. So that means Bactria can't put its full force against me, but if Bactria can't put its full force against me, I'm quite confident that my full force is stronger than their full force. Well, looks like instead of actually ending the episode here, ending the episode at the end of the entrance cycle, we're actually going to end it here, where one of our mightiest armies, the Fires of Hephaestus, is going to hold this settlement of Kath against the Wanderers of the Vast Steppe. I think the game thinks it's going to be a hard battle, but I am confident this will be an easy victory. The reason why? They have absolutely zero infantry, which means they will not be able to do any siege towers, which means they can only break through my gates, which means that they have to rush into my hoplites, and in the end, I will win. Victory will be mine. So come back next time and see the slaughter of this vast army, the Vast Steppes. Have a good day, night, evening, wherever you guys may be. If you guys like the video, press the like button down below. Subscribe to see more of my content. And also, check out the Total War Warhammer 3 campaign that I've started up as the Grand Cafe. Hopefully start posting either the day before this video comes out or the day after. If I can get my thumbnail set up. I'm trying to get my girlfriend to draw me a really good thumbnail. That way I can improve my thumbnail game compared to what I have currently. Make it more appealing to you guys. I ended up picking Warhammer 3 because I saw a review where it's like, it's a generally pretty good game, but it's not the best. And I said I'm going to pick it up. Partially to also get on the hype train a little bit, you know. But it's a fun game so far. I like it. But it's probably not worth $60. So if you're gonna get it, and you're not too hyped about it, just wait till a sale comes up and get it then. Take care, guys. Bye.